this is Carolina, and thanks so much for joining me for another Sew Easy Sunday tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make ribbon flowers. I'm actually going to show you how to make several throughout a couple of weeks here, but this one is the first one I'm starting with. It's called a loop ribbon flowers, what I'm calling it, because literally all you do is make a bunch of loops, adhere them with a thread and needle, and that's how it comes together. I'm sure you've seen them in the store, and they cost so much money, and it's silly because you can just make them yourself, and I will show you how easy that comes together. The set I'm using here, it's actually two of them. It's called Creativity TEA. It's a cool little name. Set from Tailored Expressions, and the one in pink, it's called Miniature Motifs, and you can find all that information on my blog as well as the link here that I'll put. So let's get started. Like I said, you'll need a ribbon, a button, or a pearl for the middle, and for this one I'm going to go with a button, but just in case you want to use that, you can. Start with putting a good sized knot on your needle or at the end of your thread, and then just at one of the ends put your needle through as I did there, and then just make a loop as such, having the end meet the other end of your ribbon, and then just pull your needle through again. And I kind of just like to go back and forth because I found that this is easier. It's an easier way to control your needle. And so I'm just going to go again, make another loop, pull my ribbon through, my needle through, and go back again to the back of it. Like I said, it's just a good starting point for me, but if you feel okay with just, making a loop behind it and starting from the front, that's fine too. And what I'm doing is, as I'm going through and making my loops, I'm also turning my ribbon so that I start forming that flower. Now, don't worry about it if you don't get exactly how you want right now, because you can always shape it right before you cut off the thread. But it's just a little bit easier if you shape it as you go, as I'm doing here. Again, another turn, another loop. So you can easily stop at 4. I like to do 5 on mine, just because it's always good to have an extra one to kind of move around where there's an empty space, or if you're using it on a sentiment, that's also another way to kind of play around with those loops. And as far as the length, I know some of you have asked me, I seriously rarely measure anything. I just kind of go with it, and the more you do it, the more you get used to it. And with these type of ribbon flowers, it also depends on how wide and how big you want that flower. And like I said, I just kind of eyeballed it here and kind of go with it. And if it doesn't work, you can always keep it, and I'm sure you'll be able to use it for another project. So let me, see, this little loop just does not want to cooperate. Okay, I think I got it. So let me just go ahead and finish that off. And then once you have your final loop in place, you're going to go ahead and turn it around and finish it on the back by doing a little, basically, what do you call it, like a little knot. But before I do that, sorry, forgot, I need the middle. So before you loop it back, put either your button or a pearl, whatever you want to put in the middle. I just kind of thread it as such, put it, kind of see where I want to have it positioned, and then loop it back or pull it out again one more time once I figure that out. Gosh, that loop just does not want to stay. Sorry. So there's days just when it doesn't want to cooperate. So kind of pull it back a little bit as I did here, and pull your needle through, and then you can always just reposition the button where you'd like, and then do it tight. I like to do it one more time just to make sure I have a nice, it adheres nicely to it with the thread. Okay, so once you do that, then at this point you're going ahead and finish off the back of it. So turn it around and then just finish it off like this, and you're just going to, through that loop, pull your needle so that you have a nice knot, and then just cut off the excess as I do here. And then what I use to adhere it to whatever project I'm working with, I actually use double-sided tape. It tends to work the best. I know I've mentioned this to you guys a lot, and glue dots also, but with some like this, because there are so many layers, it's just kind of nice to have double-sided tape. So I want to show you a different version. Again, this is 5, but this was silk double-sided ribbon which I think is kind of nice. It shows off a little bit nicer. Here's several loops. I did more than one loop on this one. And again, on the first one I used the pearl, and the second one I used button. Here again, gingham looks amazing with it. I used a pearl in that one, and that's a thicker version. Here's a thinner version of gingham. See, there's like, I think 1/8, and this is a bit 1/4 or maybe half an inch. I have to check on that. But anyways, so here's several versions of it. Go to town. You'll have fun. It's really easy, and it comes together quite quickly. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great day.